الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي خلق الإنسان وميزه بالعقل للإدراك والفهم وفضله على كثير ممن خلق تفضيلا، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم عبد الله ورسوله. Our brothers and sisters in Islam, once again we have another opportunity to meet here in MASJID and JAAMIA, but today with a different touch altogether, because alhamdulillah, sitting right by me on my right side is my father. I consider him my father because he is a very, very close friend to my biological father, and it's been a while since I saw him. So coming to Philadelphia alone itself was another opportunity to come and meet my father and reenact those old pacts that we had. Back in the days, we followed them. They carried us along to school. They carried us along to lectures because they had a plan for us in our lives. And they put us on a path that alhamdulillah we are still trying as much as possible to be there. And from time to time they throw us into the deep end to train us to be able to continue with the mantle when they are not around. So it is with joy and pride that I sit next to my father for him to listen to the kind of things they taught us over the years. And wherever there is the need for corrections, they do it as they always do. And whenever there is the need for a pat on the back, as you know, the motivation, it continues. So it's an honor and a privilege to have him here. And we ask the Almighty Allah to bless him with long life and health. And we all know the kind of impact that he's been making in this community. And we hope that the Almighty Allah blesses his efforts, cleans his heart and our hearts, and then guide us all together into Al-Jannah. Today is a Tuesday, which also corresponds with the 28th of Zulqa'dah. Is it 28th? Today, 1,440 years after the Hijrah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It also corresponds with the 30th day of July 2019. Life itself is a cycle, and nobody gets things done without any ups and downs. That is why even in the hospital, when someone is sick and in intensive care unit and there's a screen, the doctors tell you if there's a straight line, it means the person is dead. But when the monitor shows a line that goes up and down, it means the person is breathing, the person is alive. It is a big lesson for us all, in a sense that for a person to be alive, he must be faced with ups and downs. Some people might think that some people have made it in life and they are not faced with challenges or trials or tribulations. Each and every one of us has his own tests and his own trials. Someone's tests and trials might not be apparent for all of us to see. Other people's trials are also apparent for all of us to see. But one way or the other, each and every one of us is battling with one issue or the other. And the Almighty Allah makes it clear in His book that this is His sunnah when it comes to the world. That is why when you go to Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 155, the Almighty Allah says, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ ونقص من الأموال والأنفس والثمرات وبشر الصابرين الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون أولئك عليهم صلوات من ربهم ورحمة وأولئك هم المهتدون. The Almighty Allah is as if He is promising us that He is going to test us. The tests, the trials, the tribulations, the challenges, they are going to come. And I believe that trials and tribulations are the ingredients with which the personal development soup is cooked with. If you want to develop personally, then consider trials and tribulations as essential ingredients in your soup. If they are not there in the soup, you're not going to get the necessary ingredients or the necessary vitamins for the development of the body and the soul. So Allah says, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ Verily I am going to test you. بِشَيْءٍ مِنَ الْخَوْفِ Something that is fearful, something that is frightening. The Almighty Allah will test us with things that will let our hearts skip a bit. The Almighty Allah will test us with hunger. The Almighty Allah will test us with pain. The Almighty Allah will test us with sickness. The Almighty Allah will test us with bankruptcy. In life, you're not going to get everything straightforward. You're going to have one or two things going for you, and you're going to find some things also going against you. There is a hadith that was narrated. The Prophet Muhammad came out one day and there was no food in the house. Can you imagine? The Prophet Muhammad was home. There is no food. Aisha radiallahu anha used to say that we stay in the house of the Prophet Muhammad weeks and weeks unending, and then no fire had been kindled in his house for us to cook food. We sometimes go on dates and water alone. So if you find yourself in some form of financial problems, whereby things are not moving on well for you, maybe even getting food to eat becomes a problem, remember that one day the Prophet Muhammad came out and there was no food in the house. He decided to go and see if he can get Umar ibn Khattab, maybe they have food there. As he was going out on the street, he met Umar ibn Khattab. And Umar ibn Khattab asked him, Ya Rasulullah, what brought you out at this time? He told him, Umar, the very thing that brought you out is the same thing that is bringing me out. Umar was also hungry and there was no food at the moment. They decided that, let's go and see Abu Bakr, maybe Abu Bakr has food. On the way, they met Abu Bakr coming, and then he asked them, what brought you out at this time? And then the Prophet Muhammad told him, the very thing that brought you out is the same thing that has brought us out. Abu Bakr's house too, there was no food. So the three greatest men in the history of Islam, at one point in time in their homes, there was no food. And do you think the Prophet Muhammad couldn't raise his hands up at that time, and then Manna and Salwa and all the angels will descend down and bring food? Don't you think he can pray for that? He definitely can. But then the Prophet Muhammad had to go through some lifestyles so that you and I will pick lessons from them. If he had lived a supernatural life whereby everything fell in place, you and I wouldn't have studied anything concerning life. So that is why we have to go through all those phases of life, so that you and I, when we come and then we read those stories, we find peace and tranquility in our hearts, and then we are able to hold on further. So they decided that, what are we going to do? As they sat down discussing, one of the Sahaba by name Abu al-Haytham came passing by, and then he saw these three great men sitting down, and then he asked them, what's going on? And then one of them said, we're looking for food. He said, you're looking for food? He said, yes. He said, please get up, let's go. He had one goat at home. He got home, he slaughtered the goat, prepared the meal for them. When the meal was brought in front of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as they put their hands into the bowl, he started crying. So Abu Bakr was like, we just had food. What's the tears for? He said, you have food now, we're going to eat. Don't forget that the Almighty Allah said, وَلَتُسْأَلُنَّ يَوْمَئِذٍ عَنِ النَّعِيمِ. Even on the day of judgment, the mercies and the blessings that the Almighty Allah has given us, He is going to question us on them. وَنَبْلُوكُمْ بِالشَّرِّ وَالْخَيْرِ فِتْنَةً. Sometimes, not every good thing is good for us. Some people might have all the wealth in the dunya, but it is a test and a trial for them. Sometimes your $500 apartment is what is best for you. Maybe your $1,000 a week job is what is best for you. If you get a $5,000 job, you're going to forget about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So He gives you a $1,000 a week job. That will make you all the time remember Allah, pray, thank Him, and do dhikr. That is why the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in another narration was asked, "Hal turiduha mulkan?" Do you want the prophethood as a king? Do you want to be a king and then a prophet at the same time? The same way as Sulaiman was a king and a prophet at the same time. He said, no, I don't want it that way. Aju'u yawman fa'adhkuruk wa ashba'u yawman fa'ashkuruk. He said, one day I prefer so that one day I become hungry and then I remember the Almighty Allah and I do dhikr. Wa ashba'u yawman fa'ashkuruk. And then one day when I get food and I eat and I'm satisfied, I thank you, Almighty Allah. So sometimes, some of these trials will come. You might be kicked out of your job for no apparent reason. And the people will concoct all kinds of lies against you. And you cannot even take them to court. Your beloved might die instantly. This afternoon when we went home to visit my father, he made me shed tears. I don't know if he realized it. My grandfather, Sheikh Tawfiq, happens to be a mentor for all of us. I remember vividly, he died Thursday, 15th July 2004. I was in high school then. And we all loved the man. A very sincere person, down to earth sheikh, who sits with everybody. I remember one day I visited them in Kumasi, and we were all working with sheikh, and some small boys, 3-4-year-old boys said, Ustaz, Kamurawazi, Ustaz, preach to us. And then he stood and he spoke to them for a minute. So this was the kind of man who he was. And then in a jiffy, in an instant, at a point in time whereby we all thought and believed this man is going to live for 100 years. Just one afternoon, the Almighty Allah said, no, come back. And I can tell you one thing, the whole of the country that day was gloomy. The sun didn't shine. So the Almighty Allah can take from you someone who you really love, a wife, a child, a parent, a financier, someone who helps you. The Almighty Allah can choose to take that person away from you at a point whereby you need the person very, very much in your life. And it is a test for you. How are you going to react towards that? In the end, Almighty Allah said, وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. Give glad tidings to those people who are patient. And who are those patient people? الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ. Those people, when calamities befall them, قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. They go back to the Almighty Allah. They believe and trust that it is from the Almighty Allah. They don't attribute it to other people. They don't say, it is this guy who caused this for me. No. Most often than not, the kind of confusions we have in our communities are that we always blame other people for our calamities. And that's why envy and jealousy is very high on the agenda in some of our communities. Sometimes when people are well-to-do, instead of us, praying to the Almighty Allah to bless them more, we rather want to bring them down. And then it's as a reminder, nobody is able to bless themselves if the Almighty Allah doesn't agree to it. When you find someone knowledgeable, it is because the Almighty Allah has willed it, and even though the person also has strived towards that. If you find out that someone is wealthy, it is because the Almighty Allah has willed it, and that person also takes time to go through businesses to get some money. Don't envy anybody because of what they have in the dunya. Don't be jealous of anybody because of what they have in the dunya. If you really knew what some people go through in getting what they want in life or what they have in life, you would be very, very, very surprised. I always tell this to people that if the Almighty Allah doesn't give you plenty money, He gives you a sound sleep at night. Do you think these millionaires or billionaires will sleep at night? They always think of how to get more money. And they are always suspicious of the next person. Is this guy really, is he really faithful to me? Or he snatches a few thousands of dollars from my account? And then you find most of them with all kinds of bodyguards, all kinds of bulletproof vehicles, all kinds of, machine guns. And if there's even a tie that best pow, it is a whole different, experience for them. And then you find people, trying to hide. They are in a gated community with security 24 hours. And then everything, they don't move out, some move out with even bulletproof vests. But as a poor man like myself, you can even choose to open your windows and your doors and nobody will even mind you. That's the reality. And these people, under their pillows, they have pistols. In the kitchen, they have a rifle. Why? Because there is this sense of insecurity because of the wealth that they have. They think they're suspicious that someone might attack them. But you and I who earn a few $100 a week, we can choose to not even close our doors. And we can choose to walk down the street at night, and even if anybody meets us, oh, this guy even, he doesn't have anything, and then you go scot-free. So when the Almighty Allah gives someone something, please pray for them that the Almighty Allah increases it for them. And then if you also need some, pray that the Almighty Allah gives you. Don't be jealous of anybody for anything that they have in the world. Don't be jealous of anybody. Ask for your portion and the Almighty Allah will give you. There's this narration of two guys who were beggars. They had their spots where they sit. And beggar A always made more money than beggar B. When people come, instinctively, they give beggar A maybe say $10 and they give beggar B, let's say $2. This went on for some time, and beggar B started feeling something in his heart. Why isn't that all the time when the people come? They give this guy $10 and they give me $2. I don't understand. The following day, he He came earlier and then he sat in Begale's spot, thinking that it is because of the spot. That is why Begale gets all the monies that he gets. So Begale, when he came, he saw that his spot has already been taken. So he just went to the next stop, next spot, and then he sat there. So when the people came to give their sadaqah and their money, they don't know the two beggars. They only know spot A and spot B. So when they came to spot A and he said, today you should be patient. We always give you. So let's give to this guy today, okay? And then the monies came back to him again. So don't be envious, don't be jealous of anybody. Whatever anybody or anybody has, whatever positions they have, whatever wealth they have, whatever money they have, be content. وَرْضَ بِمَا قَسَمَ اللَّهُ لَكَ تَكُنْ أَغْنَى النَّاسِ. Be content with what the Almighty Allah has given you. You will be the most wealthy person in the world. They say that there are a lot of rich coats that are hiding poor hearts. And there are a lot of poor clothes that are hiding rich hearts. What it means is that there are a lot of people who have wealth, who have money, who have all the designer clothes, but inwardly they are poor, in their hearts they are poor. And there are a lot of people who have poor clothes, ragged, torn clothes, but in their hearts they are wealthy. What is it? It means they have contentment in their hearts. Whatever they have, whatever they get in life is enough for them. Whatever they receive is okay for them. And there are people with all their millions, they don't have peace of mind. So the Almighty Allah tests us in many ways. But then the most important thing is when those tests come, be resolute, be firm, remember that the Almighty Allah is in control of affairs. You don't go to anybody for any help except the Almighty Allah. You go to people for help on what they have power over. But you don't go to people for help on what they don't have any power over. What is the example? If you come to me right now and then you say, you need, say, $50. The few dollars that I came from Africa, they're still around. The guys have been so good. Alhamdulillah, may the Almighty Allah bless you. When you go out and I want to buy something, they say, no, you're not going to buy anything. I say, I have money, this is what I want to buy. They say, no, you're our guest, and then we are going to buy for you. Another day I said, I won't agree, I will buy it myself. When I got to the cashier, they said, do you have a credit card? I said, I don't have. I said, so you guys don't take cash? I said, no, we are in a cashless system. So I look at the brother, he said, I told you. So, what was I even saying when I veered off? So in the same vein, the Almighty Allah tests us. What I'm trying to say is, you should not go to someone for help on something that they don't have. So if you come to me, for example, right now, and you ask me, brother, I need $50, I can give you $50. Or you tell me you need $50,000, I'll just look at you and shake my head and tell you you might be sick in the head. Why am I going to get $50 to give it to you? It's money. Some people have that. Someone can give you that $50,000, but then when you ask them for $1 million, they can't give you. They don't have the power over that $1 million, so don't go to them for that help. You come to me for a help of $50, I can give you. But then when you go higher to $50,000, I'm incapacitated there, I can't help you. Another example is, it is the Almighty Allah who gives children. No one else does that. No pediatrician can give you children, and no gynecologist can give you children. The one who gives children is the Almighty Allah. So you go to the gynecologist for him
to look at you, to test and see what are the problems. But then you go to the Almighty Allah for children. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in a narration by Anas bin Malik, the hadith can be found in Muslim, Imam Ahmad. Imam al-Albani also classified it as Hassan in his book Silsilat al-Hadith al-Sahihah. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "Inna 'idham al-jaza min 'idham al-bala." He said the magnitude of your reward is definitely proportional to the magnitude of your tests and trials and tribulations. The bigger the trials and tribulations, the bigger the reward. The Prophet ﷺ went on further and said, "Inna Allah idha ahabba qawman ibtalahum." When the Almighty Allah loves a group of people, He tests them. فَمَنْ رَضِيَ فَلَهُ الرِّضَى. If you agree and accept what the Almighty Allah is testing you with, فَلَهُ الرِّضَى, you will get that reward from the Almighty Allah. And if you don't agree, agreeing here means towing the line in the way the Almighty Allah taught us to tow in line when it comes to trials and tribulations, going back to Him. When you don't agree, or when you are furious or are annoyed with the trials and tribulations from the Almighty Allah, it only means that you've gone to other people for help other than the Almighty Allah. I want us to pick one or two prophets from the Quran who went through these trials and tribulations. And mind you, the prophets were tried and tested bigger and higher than everybody, than anybody. When we go to the Quran in Surah Al-Anbiya, verse 82, the Almighty Allah said, وَأَيُّوبَ إِذْ نَادَى رَبَّهُ أَنِّي مَسَّنِيَ الضُّرُّ وَأَنْتَ أَرْحَمُ الرَّاحِمِينَ. Ayub alayhi salatu salam was a prophet, an entrepreneur, a businessman, very wealthy, with a huge family. He had cattle ranches. He had huge farms. Then all of a sudden, he went bankrupt. His animals died. Bushfires cut his fields. His wives and his children died except only one wife. His money off. His body started rotting. For 18 years, he was sick. He got to a point whereby his body was rotting, and then he had worms in his body. They were eating the body, worms. One day, a worm fell out of his body onto the ground. He picked the worm and put it back, and he said, "Stay here. This is where the Almighty Allah has put your sustenance." He had only one dua. He said, "Ya Allah, ibtalini fi jismi bima shi'ta." He said, "Oh Allah, test me with whatever you want in my body. But I only ask for one thing. Don't let this illness touch my tongue, because I always want to say La ilaha illallah." You might be here with an illness. You might be here with a chronic illness. Take it as a test from the Almighty Allah. And then rely upon the Almighty Allah. Remember that the one who gives health is the Almighty Allah. يا صاحب الهم إن الهم منفرج أبشر بخير فإن الفارج الله. اليأس أحيانا يقطع بصاحبه لا تيأسن فإن الصانع الله. إذا بليت فثق به وارض به إن الذي